was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right, so today we're doing something different. We're doing bad movie, watching.
Bad movie review.
Yeah. Jeff Gulino.
Tommy.
Joe.
These are the people who watch the movie. So today we watched The Suckling.
Good for them. Suckling.
Yeah, this is a real special movie, man.
I got chills through the whole thing.
Let's start off by saying that there is zero chance that this movie would have been made today.
No,
Absolutely.
not at all.
So let me start by reading the back of it, just to give you a little taste of what we watched. After being tricked into having an abortion at Big Mama's underground abortion clinic / brothel, a young woman's, which we never got her name, correct?
Correct.
Okay. A young woman's extracted fetus is flushed into the sewer system, wherein it is exposed to toxic waste and begins to mutate into an ever-growing and increasingly bloodthirsty monster. The girls, the Johns, and other assorted weirdos. Mm-hmm. This is all on the actual case. Other assorted weirdos find themselves trapped inside a brothel where they are forced to face off against the agitated prenatal creature, as well as each other, in a high-stakes quest to stay alive or at least stay in one piece. The Suckling. All right, well, how did this movie start?
So this movie started with a woman being kidnapped. They injected her with what I think is Powerade in a vial.
Okay.
Just blue Powerade.
No, wait. She was abducted, or we were talking, or was it a dream?
I think...
Does the movie actually start with her going to the abortion clinic?
It does not. It starts with a woman sleeping, a doctor with a syringe goes up into her bedroom.
And naked nurses.
And naked nurse.
Yeah, with a fake axe, which...
Yes.
Okay. Now, we think that's a fever dream, though?
Yeah, I think that's all part of her fever dream.
And then when she comes to out of her dream, her boyfriend is taking her to the Freddy Krueger house.
Yes, I even put on my notes Freddy Krueger keyboard because that was what they were.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you had a great soundtrack. Okay, so the boyfriend takes her to a creepy ass house to get an underground abortion.
Which also is a brothel.
Which this took place in 1989. So abortions were legal then.
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly what was the point of going to this shithole.
I think it's because it was in the context of them being college kids. They don't want any paperwork. They don't want their parents finding out.
Fair enough. That's fair enough. So then not Daryl Hall, but John Oates greets them at the door.
That's also my next note, random black guy with mustache.
Random black guy with mustache, although he was a snappy dresser.
He was. He was the best dressed out of all of them. Better than the prostitutes.
So then they go into the house, and there's a waiting room where also the prostitutes and the Johns are.
Yup.
And they're greeted by Big Mama.
Yes, who I put in my notes as Large Marge Madam.
She looked like Large Marge, but she was also wearing...
like a Beetlejuice stripe.
Yeah, like dress. Beetlejuice stripe. She kind of looked like a circus tent.
I was definitely a circus tent.
Yeah, she looked like a circus tent. Now, there was... this movie's ridiculous. Okay, well, we'll get to that.
Yes, Candy.
Okay, so, yeah. Wait. So then they're in the waiting room, and they meet one of the older prostitutes.
Yes.
Her name was Candy. Now, she looked really familiar to me. So then I started thinking, where have I seen this lady? Turns out she was in Goodfellas. The only two movies she was ever in was The Suckling and Goodfellas.
Believe me, she was no angel.
She was the one in the beauty parlor scene who's talking shit to everyone about the other person's kids or something like that. But I gotta say, it's kind of funny to me that Martin Scorsese's seen this movie, apparently.
Yup.
I mean, how else would he have known to hire Candy?
She must have turned up for the audition to be in Goodfellas, and they asked her, have you been in any
They're like, have
movies?
you ever been in an aborted fetus movie?
Yeah.
Perfect. Sign her up.
They probably didn't even see the movie. They were like, okay, you're in a movie, good, you're good.
So then they go from the waiting room. They take the college girl and her boyfriend back to meet Large Marge.
Right.
The Big Mama.
With the coat hanger.
Okay, yes. And they bring her into surgery prep.
Oh,
Which
God,
is-
that was actually pretty gut-wrenching.
Which was actually just her pulling a coat hanger out. Correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, and
Performing the abortion.
wait, no, the boyfriend drugged her. Isn't that why she passed? Or did Big Mama drug her?
I think the Big Mama drug.
I think, that was Big Mama.
Big Mama drugged her, and so she passes out. But I thought why was she blaming the boyfriend?
Because the boyfriend fucking conned her into going there in the first place.
Yeah, they were supposed to just talk to a doctor.
So was Big Mama and the boyfriend in cahoots, knowing that they were going to do
No.
the abortion?
I
The
think
mom didn't know
to an extent. He didn't know that they were going to drug her, but they also, thank you, like that was just their goal all along, was just to perform
to
this
get the abortion.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Big Mama does the abortion with the assistance of one of the prostitutes,
Right.
who is also her nurse
Mhm.
or whatever.
Yeah.
And
Definitely the assistant. She was the one handling it.
yes. Well, so this very professional place does the abortion, and the fetus is also like
Flushed down to
not 9 times way too big for being a fetus.
Yeah.
And they just flush it down the toilet.
Yeah.
As you do in an abortion clinic, apparently. This movie got very political at some points, because Big Mama was also was reassuring the college girl that it's not a human right now.
Yeah.
Don't feel bad. This movie, dude, crossed every line you could imagine.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
I mean, I definitely recommend watching it, but go into it with a light heart and an open mind.
There's
So
nothing to do.
they then flushed the fetus down the toilet, which went into a scene of what was clearly just a big hunk of plastic
Yup.
floating down a sewer.
To be fair, all the money they put into that movie went into that hunk of plastic.
Eventually, though, not when it was first aborted, though. When it was first aborted, it was just like somebody's doll.
Looked like a balloon.
Yeah, that they covered in like fucking slime and then
It's just being inflated.
had some sort of cord wrapped around it and they just flushed it down the toilet. Well, apparently this whorehouse / brothel, for some reason, had toxic waste in its yard or in the next door neighbor's yard or something like that. They had a big barrel of it, and it just literally said toxic waste. Because
and it's all seeping into the sewers, which is where our little critter winds up.
brings us to our hero.
Yes.
It drops onto the fetus, and the fetus starts mutating. Meanwhile, we go back to the brothel, and
There's all kinds.
there's like Johns and stuff.
Yeah, they're all like arguing with the prostitutes.
Arguing with the prostitutes. Enter another one of our heroes, Axel.
Oh, yeah.
We can't forget Axel. This guy is a gem. I can't believe I haven't seen him in other major roles. But Axel, what was he? Was he like the enforcer?
He was the
Him
mom's
and the
son.
other dude, him and Oates were like the correctors.
I think he was the mom's son.
But that guy, the Oates guy, the well-dressed black gentleman with the mustache,
Yes.
he seemed like he was actually the one who was like in charge, and Axel just seemed like the scumbag who was hanging out.
Yeah, like dude who
Who
just
acted
lived
like
at
he was in
mom's
charge.
house and
That's
his
what
mom
I-
happens
that's
to
what
be a madam at a brothel.
Okay. So enter Axel. Then I'm a little bit fuzzy here. Okay, so there's like a senator-looking guy
Yeah.
who is like...
He like walked in with the couple who were getting the abortion.
No, that was the other wormy dude.
Oh yeah, that was
Okay,
that was just another job.
that was the guy with the other John
That's right.
who was wearing the shitty suit.
The senator was the dude who got shot by
This one
Tammy.
gets pegged by
Yeah,
the
but we
mom.
don't see him going in there. I don't think we just know
He was just in there.
he was just in there.
It just after we get everybody in the house, it just cuts to him with one of those propeller hats.
It was
and his
him with the propeller hat.
Yes, and him and his briefcase full of sex toys.
And the dominatrix type thing going on.
Oh yeah,
Right? Dildos, whatnot, and a whip, I believe. So then something happens between the senator man and the prostitute,
Yeah.
where they're like arguing and Mustache Oates.
Yeah, he was just trying to correct him, but Tammy somehow got a hold of the gun and shot him.
The prostitute shoots the guy. That triggers off everything as far as like, well, now we got to hide the body and shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and it's like how they even did that was like, oh, now we got to hide the body. Like, oh, that's one more chore to do.
They were
After I take out the trash and do the dishes.
They were very comfortable with somebody being killed.
Yeah.
None of them seemed all that surprised, and it was more just like, oh, not again.
Yeah, just another day in paradise.
So then they go to try to they're trying to hide that body. Then what the fuck happened?
Then it kept cutting
Joe
back and
took
forth
notes, so thank God.
to the fetus transformation. Like there's a lot of like exposition in between.
Right.
And
they had to like fill time just to make this a real movie. Otherwise, it would have been like 35
there was a lot.
minutes.
They padded the runtime for this movie a lot, and it was most of it was from the awesome creature transformation.
The creature transformation was pretty. We got to say the creature
was dope.
The creature was awesome.
Yeah.
Had somebody who was competent in making movies use that creature in their movie, it would have actually been pretty creepy and cool.
They probably would have even kept the title of the movie.
But I mean, it was just made by a horrible director.
Although, full disclosure, there was no suckling involved in the suckling.
Wait, didn't the one guy suck on the titty? All right, well, whatever. That's beside the point. I thought there was a John who was suckling on a titty.
If there was, I missed it.
Just to say there was suckling. There was suckling involved, but not with. So anyway, the fetus itself, as it's transforming, is fucking rad. They must have sank all the money they had into this thing.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's go back upstairs. The girl who had the abortion is now waking up, correct?
Yes.
She wakes up and realizes that Big Mama, because she was only there for like a illegal consult on an abortion. She was bamboozled into this fucking abortion. She wakes up and realized that they did the abortion. Scumbag boyfriend is like, it was what was best for both of us.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah, he's just like, it's fine, whatever. And Big Mama's just constantly telling her that it wasn't a real baby anyway, so why are you upset?
Yep.
And Candy said the same thing. She was just like, I don't know why people get so upset by these things.
Oh, yeah. And Candy in this movie is just nothing but an agitator.
Candy looks like she absolutely had a Vegas, like, show in, like, a shitty casino. Like, she was, like, a lounge singer or something. Anyway, so then girlfriend wakes up and is super pissed off, as you probably should be, to being tricked into an abortion. And so what then transpires? Like, do they then find out that they were trapped in the house?
No,
Yeah.
someone dies, right?
What?
Then the next person dies. Right?
Well, yeah, but they find out they're trapped in the house because
Yeah, it was the couple who just got the abortion were trying to go out the back, but
And
then
they
they
couldn't.
came back shortly saying, we can't open the doors.
so crazy. Some reason this fetus that then had what was it? Toxic waste put on it. For some reason, cocoons the house in burlap and Laffy Taffy.
I believe the word you used is discharge.
I believe that's what it's supposed to be. I mean, not that this movie could get any grosser, but it looked like Laffy Taffy with wet paint on it. And
Oh, yeah, it's literally just some crew just went up there and just plopped it on.
yeah, so like once again, they spent all the money on the monster and not anything else. So they're now trapped. And Axel doesn't like being trapped. Don't put Axel in a corner, but he can't get out, so he's pissed off.
Right.
Stir crazy.
And so Mustache, Black Man,
who we've been referring to as Oates.
from Hollyoaks. Okay, he looks like him. What do you want from me? So that guy tries to calm Axel down, but then has to knock him out with like the worst fight scene I've ever seen in a movie.
It took like 3 seconds, and I think all he did was slap Axel.
And I'm not even sure he made any contact. There was a lot of cut, and then all of a sudden, Axel's knocked out.
I did, however, take a note of that fight, but I believe we all agreed I can't say it on the podcast.
No.
What was it again? Give me a hint.
I'm bringing a knife to a fight.
Oh yeah, no, we're not saying that. So anyway, so yeah,
Which I'm
we
surprised.
want people to see this.
I'm surprised you hadn't mentioned how much Axel looks like the former.
Oh
Prime Minister
yeah,
Justin
so
Trudeau.
Axel, I will put side by side in this. Axel 100% looks like Justin Trudeau, who was the
Caddyshack, dude.
well, no, Justin Trudeau.
I
Fuck
think it
that.
looks like
I will put all of them up there, and I promise you, he looks like Justin Trudeau way more than he looks like fucking the Caddyshack bully guy.
I get the vibes, the Caddyshack bully vibe.
Okay, vibe, yes. The way he looks, 100% cat or 100% Justin Trudeau. So
I don't even know
anyway,
what that fucker looks like.
he knocks him out, but for some reason he decides to leave him with a gun. This is the gun
I
that
think he
tucks
just
him into
had
his
the
bed.
gun hidden.
He tucks him into his bed.
we puts him in the bed, but then how does Axel gets the gun later on?
No,
Somehow.
Axel has his own gun.
Yeah, he had like a pantry full of like bullets.
Yeah, so he had
I
his
thought
own.
that was the gun that the prostitute used to kill the senator.
No, that was a revolver.
There's multiple
There's
firearms.
a lot of firepower.
There's some gunplay in this movie.
Nobody paid attention to actually how many bullets were being used, though.
That's every movie.
Okay, no. Sometimes they pay attention to that type of shit.
Well,
All it takes is one scene where the guy reloads.
Every
and you're
bad
good.
movie.
So then they try to figure out a way out of the house.
yes.
So
They
they
were-
come up with the idea of, I mean, the house must have weights in it, right? That's literally the
Well,
line he says.
Before we get to that,
Oh, okay.
while they're trying to think of a way, before they had the thought of trying to find the weights, they decided to consolidate all the tools, which was just a crappy little rusty old toolbox that had nothing but
Hammer
a
and
hammer
a
and a screwdriver.
Right.
And that is what they had.
And their job was
and
to
Oates-
chisel the door.
And Oates literally says it's going to take a while with just these tools.
Yup.
And it's just a hammer. So, like,
And was it the frat boy?
The John.
The frat boy who said, "Do you have weights in the house?"
The frat boy was the boyfriend of the girl who got the abortion. Okay.
That's the one who had
So-
the Goonies sweater.
The Goonies sweater. The guy was literally wearing like the same sweater as the girl in Goonies when she's wearing her cheerleading outfit. Whatever. This movie's out of control. So anyway, they try to figure out a way out, and they come up with the idea of making a battering ram out of the toolbox and the weights that must be in the house.
Yeah, we never get to see the weights. They're already in this footlocker that they were rigging to the ceiling so that they can pull
Swing
it
it back.
and then slam it into the front door.
Axel's displeased with this idea.
Axel hates this idea. Axel wakes up with a gun and is just pissed that they stole his weights.
Yeah.
Now we never see.
And his footlocker.
Yeah. So then Axel goes downstairs and he tells people what's what.
Yup.
He's like, "You guys, you fucked with the wrong bull." So wait, what exactly? Wait, does Axel argue with Oates about the plan and then? No, Axel is a crack shot and takes the gun and shoots the rope.
Oh yeah, he shoots the battering ram.
He shoots the battering ram so it falls down and says how he hates the plan. So now they have no plan. And then does he shoot Oates?
He does shoot Oates. Axel is the killer of Oates.
Yes. So then he kills, but does he kill him right then?
No, he doesn't kill Oates. The Oates gets killed by
Oh,
the
yeah,
fucking
you're so
machine, by the monster through the
So
wall.
what? Axel is just making everybody do what he wants.
Yeah,
at
they
that
force
point?
him down
Yeah,
the basement to
because-
go fucking check around and look for shit.
I don't remember Oates going in the basement.
Oates was dead at that point.
Okay, so how do we get to Oates dying? I don't remember.
Because they were
It
in
was
like
him and
a-
Axel getting into a scuffle
In the living room.
in the living room, but
The
Oates
linoleum.
was able to subdue Axel, but that was his moment where he died.
Wait a
He
second,
got-
we're totally wrong. No, Axel, they're arguing in the living room, and the fucking aborted fetus, which is now a full-grown
tears through
monster,
the drywall.
came through the drywall and ate fucking Oates.
Yup.
Okay,
Then left his
this is when they
carcass.
realize what they're dealing with.
Yup.
They thought they were just trapped in the discharge Laffy Taffy
Oh.
cocoon.
There
And
was
with lightning
actually-
speed flew through the walls too. Let's not forget.
There was
about
actually
that.
a moment where you went out for a smoke, and they had figured out that the creature is rummaging through the sewage. So they went throughout the
Right,
house
they
to
said it
clog all
must-
the drains.
They said he must need water.
Yes.
Or something like that. Okay.
But in the scene where they were like in the kitchen and clogging one of the drains, and
what a brilliant plan!
The frat boy went to go tie off the cabinets under the sink, but as he was doing that, the umbilical cord, which is the creature's favoriteest way to grab its victims, is through its crazy little umbilical cord. And he was trying to.
That's true. Yeah,
get him. I guess he tried to like suck him under the sink or whatever, but Oates was there to help him. And was able to cut the umbilical cord before it got like dragged him in. And there was this awesome like little 5-second like
thank God Joe paid attention.
Well, there was this stop motion animation part where it's just the writhing umbilical cord,
which if you just hang up and let dry is actually sausage or salami.
I believe no. What did you say? It was guanciale.
Guanciale, an Italian delicacy.
Absolutely.
Okay, so. We're now in the living room. Oates is dead. They now realize that they are facing a monster. And Candy, our favorite prostitute who was also in Goodfellas, starts mouthing off to Axel.
Gets blown away.
And Axel decides he's had enough. And he just shoots her in the head for like no reason. I would suggest.
Well, she was prodding him the whole movie.
Yeah, but it was kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah, and also like that was an everyday thing.
Yeah.
But that was the moment Axel was so stressed. He was like, you know what? Fuck yeah. And
dude, yeah, he just caps her in the back of the head. Very cowardly move, Axel.
Also, in my notes, I have it written down that the wood panel walls throughout this whole house are bulletproof.
This is true. Axel was trying when the creature came through the wall and got Oates. He was just shooting all over the room, and you just saw ricochet sparks off of every one of the walls, even though the wall was definitely soft enough that an aborted fetus could break through.
Oh, the bullets don't even phase that fetus.
No, not at all, but it also didn't phase the walls.
No.
So now Candy's dead, Oates is dead, and they decide to go into the basement because that's got to be where the aborted
Let's
fetus
not
is
forget
coming.
They came to the conclusion that it needs heat, so it would be in the boiler room downstairs.
Why did they think it needed heat? Did I miss that part, or was there just no explanation?
There was they were just trying to figure out what the thing is, but it was well, if it's alive, it needs heat.
Axel's freaking idea though with walking the dude with the dog collar is fucking
okay. Yeah, somehow. Although I'm thinking that maybe the dominatrix chick maybe had this dog collar thing.
Still rad.
No, I guess they had one of those things.
It was definitely something that they just had laying about in the house.
No, well, yeah, but like why? I'm guessing the prostitute maybe
Probably.
had it. It was like a pole with the choker thing on that they put on dogs when they're trying to get them into like the fucking animal control vehicle.
Yeah. Animal control pole.
So one of the Johns starts freaking out. After all of this is happening, he propositions one of the prostitutes because,
before he dies, he wants to get
mutant fetus aside, he's there with $100.
$100 is $100.
It's burning a hole in his pocket. It's
the best when he starts lurking over towards the girls too, and like
he's like just on the staring down their shirt. He's like, "You guys aren't doing anything. I got $100. We're stuck in here. What's up?" Well, they tell him maybe later, but he's not having that.
Nah.
So then they
you
go down.
Bitches aren't getting any of mine.
Now he's claiming they won't get any of his money. We all know they're going to get his money.
Yeah.
So then they go downstairs into the basement. They go one time first before putting him in the dog collar.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he does something that pisses Axel off.
He cries like a bitch.
He cries. Oh, that's right. He cries. They go to get more bullets.
And Axel doesn't.
At this point, Axel shot like 40 bullets and hasn't reloaded. So then they go to get more bullets. The guy who's the John in the really bad suit is like, I'm not going back down there. And Axel's like, the fuck you aren't. So they put him in this dog collar thing. Axel and the fucking frat boy and the John in the bad suit all go back down there. And fuck, what happens?
Makes him bark like a dog.
I thought he had tape over his mouth.
Oh yeah, well in the beginning
he was whimpering though.
He was whimpering. Okay, but then what was the plan? What happened?
I think it was just
Axel being
a fucking jackass.
So I know, but I might have had a cigarette again. Like, did they use him as bait?
That's what the point
pretty
was.
Much, yeah.
Okay, so then once the suckling aborted fetus comes out, what'd they do? Just try to shoot it?
this creature is clever. It was pretending while they were downstairs trying to bait this thing out, it was already pretending to be trapped in a room, like its claw was stuck on like the breaker box.
Oh, I can't get out. Oh.
Yeah, and which made Axel go nuts with was it the pole that he was using for the John?
Well, yeah, he wanted to beat the pole. No, it was just a different lead pole.
Okay.
So he takes
Axel,
the pole off of the John and uses the pole to...
No,
he
it's
uses
a different
a pole.
Said pole.
And he goes to jab at the creature, full force, full tilt, but the creature dodged, and Axel went with his stick into the breaker box and electrocuted himself, and that's how he died.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so at this point, we've got
a savvy
two...
creature.
because how did the other prostitute die? Did we miss her?
Everybody ran and kind of left her. That one's Vanessa.
Right.
I had to take a couple of notes on Vanessa.
This
because
was
she
when I
went
was
down there with them for some reason. And after Axel was killed, she got caught by its umbilical cord and had to get left behind, and so she was left for dead.
No man left behind.
Yep. No prostitute.
Classic fucking dude. You can't use that.
Also, in my notes, before we go any further, I want to mention that all of this, the killings, the abortion, the creature transformation, is only happening within the span of a few hours.
Yeah, absolutely. This creature went from being an aborted fetus to full-blown monster with
toxic waste.
I mean, look what it does to turtles.
Yup.
You put toxic waste on anything, dude, you got a fucking problem.
Exactly.
And I mean, that's why they just leave it in yards.
Especially in the 80s.
Yeah. And not to mention this barrel is very clearly marked toxic waste.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. We now are down to frat boy, the girl who had the abortion, 2 prostitutes, and a John.
Yes.
And the mom, right?
Oh, and Big Mama.
Big Mama.
How did Big Mama... we'll get to that. Okay. Yeah. So now they're all upstairs and they're what? Contemplating their deaths?
Yes.
Okay, now...
They're like reassessing the situation. They're like, how did it get to this? That's where the frat boy was having his kind of meltdown.
Okay, and now how did Judy get killed?
Which one was Judy?
Or the prostitute who gets shot in the closet.
Oh, that was Vanessa again.
Vanessa, excuse me. This is a very complicated plot.
As they're all lamenting from their losses from the basement, there was a scene where they hear something behind the doors of a closet, and one of them has a gun. I think none of them had the balls to actually shoot, so the prostitute
grabs the gun and is like, I'll handle this.
Yeah. Or it was like nobody else could do it, so she did it.
Yeah.
And turns out, she pumps the closet door full of bullets, and out comes Vanessa, and then she plops down dead.
Poor Vanessa, dude.
Not sure if she got herself there or if the creature put her there.
So there is no explanation. She was just in the closet for some reason. Okay. All right, so now we are down to frat boy, Big Mama, abortion lady, or the lady who had the abortion, 1 prostitute, and a John?
Yes.
Okay, who's next? Who gets killed next?
Let's see.
Oh, the 1 prostitute is very sad that she killed the other one, and doesn't she kill herself? Or does
that's later though?
Okay, so
that's a bit later.
So does the John kill himself first?
No, the John has to escape through the door, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Because after they lost Axel, they re-implemented the battering ram plan, which at this point had failed 3 times by my count. But on the 4th try, they were able to get it, but
it's because they didn't have the hindrance of Axel being so negative about the
I know. He was like, we all liked Axel, but he was really no help.
No, he didn't do much. Other than being cool, we didn't need him.
Yeah, he was cool because he was wearing a tank top and he had a crappy drawn-on tattoo.
He was classic 80s cool, though. Man.
Yeah. Totally. Well, at this point in the movie, our kill count is at 5.
Okay, so now we've got lady who had the abortion, frat boy, Big Mama, and the John.
Yeah.
How did the John die? I don't remember.
He gets fucking melted in the face.
Yeah, I remember in the post-credits.
His face melted.
Oh, right, because he got out.
Yeah, the fucking epic.
Okay, well, we'll get to that then. All right, so then He's out of the house because he got through the front door, which apparently this cocoon is just made out of burlap and a lot of string and
wet
old
rope.
fisherman's nets.
Yeah, it was definitely shit that the cat, like the set crew, it's all just shit that they found.
They just found it and was like, oh, this is the membrane that has encompassed the house.
Yeah.
None of it really looked like something that would keep you from being able to gain your freedom.
No.
Seemed pretty easy to get out of.
But he was determined.
He was.
Big Mom will get us out of this here situation.
I don't think so.
He was. And he got out. So now we've got girl who had the abortion, frat boy, Big Mama, and...
That's it.
That was it. They were the lone.
No, then the prostitute who shoots herself in the head.
Yeah.
Yes,
Because
then we get to that part because she couldn't handle what was going on and the fact that she killed Vanessa.
She killed herself for literally no reason. It seems like they might get out of this alive, but some sort of depression set in on her. I don't know if it was the strain of being a prostitute and having an aborted fetus trying to come at you. It just got to her.
That's a lot for a common.
It's a lot for the average person to handle. So she shoots herself. Boom, she's done. Now we got Big Mama, frat boy, and lady who had the abortion.
Big Mama's next.
Big Mama's neck. How did Big Mama bite it?
So she went upstairs to mourn for Axel because
Right,
they
she
had a
wanted-
weird relationship.
She wanted to see Axel one more time, which they don't explain, but we were...
I think they're mother and son.
Yeah, we think that they maybe were related, or maybe mother.
Yeah, because she
and
always
son.
gave him preferential treatment. Like
Yeah,
if
'cause once
Oates was like
She
being
made
mean
that
to him.
comment, don't make sure you don't go back to prison. You know what I mean?
Right, so she was looking out for him.
Kind of reminds me of like the vibe.
And I mean, Axel kind of sucked. So why would you be looking out for him if you had no relation with him?
Absolutely.
So okay, so Big Mama goes upstairs to see Axel one more time, whatever the fuck that means,
Mm-hmm.
and then comes back downstairs.
No, I believe she was killed upstairs.
She was
Like the
killed
creature
upstairs.
cornered her.
So somehow this creature can get through the walls and even
Can somehow go through the walls of the house
and
the
change
pipes.
elevations from first floor to second floor.
Although it would make sense
It's very savvy.
when we get to the end part when we explain that.
It's a very savvy fetus.
the end is something special.
Oh,
Fetus
yeah.
is very savvy.
So if you're
I
still
stopped taking notes after that.
okay, so if you're still with us, now we've just got frat boy and lady who had the abortion,
I think
correct?
we're calling
Yes.
it a creature. We should call it a fetus because it is a fetus.
It was a fetus, but now what was a monster fetus though? Dude, remember toxic waste, dude. This wasn't just nature,
True.
And
They
Big Mama
fucked-
said it at the beginning. It's not human.
dude. They fucked with nature, bro, and that's the whole lesson that you're learning is just you don't fuck with nature. It's not the fact that it was aborted;
True.
it's the fact that it was aborted and then you dump toxic waste on it.
Yeah.
Similar to the Ninja Turtles, dude.
Toxic fetus.
People flush turtles down the drain all the time, dude. It's if you get them with toxic waste,
I could
they
never.
become ninjas.
And eat pizza.
All right, so we've now got frat boy and lady who had the abortion and the monster fetus running around the house.
Yes.
Take it away. What happens next?
So what happens next is we're down to the last two, the lone survivors, and the creature busts up through the floor, I believe.
Floor, yes. It was very dramatic, actually.
And it's just a moment where these two people who at one point were in love, they had sex, they got pregnant,
Yeah.
and now they are in this now very beaten up house, fighting their literal demon spawn.
Which they don't know this. They don't know that this is their child.
Well, if you look closely, because I had pointed out a couple of times, especially during the creature transformation, that it's got dreamy green eyes.
So does frat
And
boy.
so Frat Boy goes eye to eye with it. And I think he was able to figure it out. I was like, oh, fuck.
This is
That's
my
mine.
kid.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude.
It has the same eyes as me.
Then it gets
Now back
better.
to the whole idea of the creature looks great in this.
Yes.
Like every dime they had for this movie
Yes, very on brand for what's on the cover.
was no. It looks
better on
It looks better. in
It
the
was
video.
way, I mean, yes, they had to make it different for the cover, but the creature in the movie was awesome.
If it was
Very well put
a
together.
competent filmmaker making the movie, it would have looked fantastic with the right lighting and all that stuff. Unfortunately, you had whoever made this in charge of it, but they did a great job on that. So it busts through the floor, and how does Frat Boy die?
Frat Boy dies. He was able to get
Stop
a
looking at your
gun.
bets.
He was able to. He got the gun somehow.
Yeah,
I don't remember how, but as the creature was emerging from the floor, he had like a clear line of sight, but was just like,
Right,
I
he did
can't do
nothing.
it.
He did
I
nothing.
can't do it. I don't know what to do. Like, just shaking in fear. And then as the
It's 'cause he knew
creature
it-
is out now and corners dear old dad.
It's because he knew it was his boy, bro.
Yep.
Yeah, all right. So now this brings us to the best part of the movie. I
Yes.
think we can all agree.
And an explanation on how the creature was able to move through the house somehow.
Yeah.
Oh, I never even put two and two together that it could move. All right. So now all that's left is Frat Boy is dead. John has escaped. Everybody else is dead in the house, but Mom, who had the abortion, is still there. The fetus monster gives her a nice long look,
Yup.
and at full,
It was even able to emote like
right. It showed emotion.
Mommy?
It was mildly powerful. It recognizes that that's his mom. We think, right? Okay.
And then it heaves her into the wall. Right?
No. No. This is the best part of the movie. You weren't paying attention. So then the monster at full stride starts running towards the mom, and it keeps cutting away in the movie, showing the monster transforming back into a fetus
and then becoming unaborted.
In absolutely horrible special effects.
It looked like the Pillsbury Doughboy.
Yeah. So all the money that they spent
when you're editing this video, you should do the.
Oh, I will show
frame the cuts.
I'm going to absolutely show
People need to see this.
So then it just keeps showing it getting smaller and smaller, turning into the Pillsbury Doughboy, and he goes back to his home. He was not happy that he was aborted.
Nope.
And he gave Mom a second chance and decided to crawl back up into that shit.
Yup.
In one of the funnier scenes I've ever seen in a movie / disturbing, the aborted fetus reinserts himself back into the mother's womb.
Yep. The trunk gets stealthed down first.
Yeah, I mean, like a gentleman. And then goes back in there. And you see some writhing around on the ground, some things bubbling up. Did you lose your bet?
No.
He's looking at his phone under the table. You see this shirt bubbling up and all this stuff, and then Mom passes out, I believe.
Yup.
Mom passes out. Meantime, the authorities have actually decided.
Cut to next scene, and the cops got called, and they went to go investigate.
But they can get into the burlap sack.
Well, so did the John. He got out too. So there is there's a path.
Yeah.
Somehow there's a way in and out. However, so wait, it must have been those two who called the cops at the end of the movie. I'll get to that in a second because John would have gotten out already.
Yep.
All right. So now the cops show up and they're like, "Miss, are you okay?" And there's just dead people everywhere, but there is no sign of the fetus
She
monster.
just looks like a corpse.
So nobody knows that this is actually what has happened.
So the cops discover her, unconscious, looks dead, but she was the lone survivor.
But she's rambling on and on about what happened in this brothel / whorehouse.
It was the fetus.
So they decide that she's insane and they put her into a mental institution, which cut back to the beginning of the movie. That's where she was in the very beginning.
Right.
And all of what we watched was the situation that got her put into that mental institution.
Yes.
So now we see her doctors, which whoever cast this movie decided to cast a midget next to a tall guy, and you can't see both of them in the frame at the same time.
No, it's great. The tall guy's head was cut off.
It's absolutely insane. Anyone who's ever made a movie should know that the people should kind of be the same height so that you can see them both. Not this guy.
I never thought of that.
Oh, absolutely, dude. They were breaking rules with this movie.
Yeah.
So now we're in the mental institution, and Mommy is still not had her reborn fetus.
No.
It's
as
still
far as
in
we
her.
know, it's still in there.
Yeah.
but she's in like the loony bin with a bunch of other crazy people.
Yup.
And it looks like maybe she's been like lobotomized or some shit.
Yeah, like she was catatonic.
Or maybe that was no, that wasn't what they were doing because they cut her stomach in the beginning. But so she's in this room with all these other crazy people, and you have in a nice bit of racism, two of the Spanish-looking gentlemen who are the orderlies come in and grab her and take her outside and decide to have their way with her.
Yes.
In front of all of the other mental or
let's
crazy people.
Let's say that they took her into a separate room away from most of the crazies, and then there were the two pervs.
But there was a window where they could see everything that was going on, so people were watching.
Yep.
And this is when the two Spanish-like gentlemen decide to. We can't say it on YouTube. You get cut out if you say it. But they did stuff without her.
SA.
They did SA without her permission.
Yes.
And at this point, baby fetus is like, nah, you ain't doing that to my mom. And
so the dude who was doing the act got killed. The umbilical cord came out and
started choking him.
Yup.
And this part I don't, dude, I know, right? This part I didn't necessarily understand, but the fetus monster guy for some reason had like half crab claws. They didn't have the pinchers, but he only had like the big parts of the crab claw. And so while the guy is essaying her, the crab claw like comes out of her stomach and stabs him, or
no, that was his back.
Okay, but where'd that come from?
From her vagina, I believe.
Yeah. I'm also, it was positioned weird because you would think it looks like it came out from her
chest. Yeah, okay. I mean,
you can't see it.
Sometimes you have to watch things 2 or 3 times to understand the beauty of film. And this was one of the parts that I just did not pick up on the beauty of it until it was all said and done. So then the movie closes where the Spanish gentleman, one guy's in shock at what's happening. The other guy is
dead.
Literally in mid-coitus. Is that the right word if it's non-consensual? I don't think it is, actually.
No.
So he's dead, but his friend is watching him. And then blood splatters across the window where the insane guys are watching. And I'm assuming that the other Spanish gentleman was also killed.
I'm sure.
I'm assuming.
Dude, he had fantastic hair.
Yes.
We didn't know you for long, but what we did know about you,
a mullet worthy of the year 1989.
it was tight.
I don't think it was a mullet. It was like a
It was a flat top folded up with the mullet in the bag. Dude, it took hours, I promise you.
Oh yeah, that guy wakes up at 4 a.m. to do his hair.
Yeah, and I mean, dude, and then the gold chain, and yeah, you get the picture. I'll put the pictures up, actually.
Which I don't think they would let you have jewelry if you were committed in this.
Probably not.
Well,
he
they
wasn't
were
committed.
orderlies.
They were the orderlies, but they probably wouldn't let you have that just because it's something to grab onto.
Yeah.
All right, so now the movie is ended and we've cut to credits. However, it's not over yet. Okay.
Oh yeah, the face.
So now you cut to a little kid
and
his
caretaker, his valet,
vacuum cleaner salesman dad. I don't know who the fuck it was.
They were definitely an odd couple.
I'm fairly certain that the little kid had a shirt that said "fuck" on it,
but
I couldn't read the rest of it. So they're sitting there outside of the house, staring at something, and then they're shocked, and then you realize that it's the John who escaped the whole situation. For some reason, he got through the burlap sacks and is now melting.
Yeah, after he escaped, he miraculously escapes, and after he comes out through the other side, after going through this obstacle course of just hanging rope netting and burlap,
maybe some saran wrap. I saw some saran wrap too.
Well, he just runs up to these two and just starts fucking melting.
Yeah, there's no explanation as to why he melted.
It's toxic waste, probably.
Why weren't the other people melting? They were in the
and the police were fine too.
That's what. Okay, wait. But now we need to get into that. So now we are thinking that maybe the kid and his dad, who's the vacuum cleaner salesman, were maybe the ones who called the cops.
Yeah.
because Burlap Sack, or he got through the John got through the Burlap Sack earlier in the movie before the cops showed up. So that scene of him melting happened actually in the middle of the movie, or not in the middle, but towards near end. So those two must have called the cops, and that's when the cops showed up. Like, well, what? It's a very complicated plot.
This movie has layers.
There's a lot of ins and outs to it.
I'm telling you, this movie will make your life better.
It won't make it worse, but it won't. I mean, maybe it'll make it better. I don't know. You won't feel good about yourself after you've watched it.
No.
But again, if you're going to watch this movie, this is not Bad Movie 101. This is definitely the advanced course. There's some very questionable shit in it.
You gotta have an iron will to get through this movie.
Yeah, like, maybe you don't make this the movie you curl up on the couch to watch.
Definitely don't show this to your mother.
No, I don't. Well, I mean,
before I got here, I tried explaining to my mom what this movie was about, and she had the look on her face.
I could probably show my mom, and she wouldn't understand any of what was going on. Actually, halfway through it, she'd be like, "I don't care."
My mom would just be like, "Why are you watching this shit?"
And I think the reason is because it was made.
Yes.
There really is no reason to watch this other than it exists.
It's fucking awesome.
And
this was somebody's dream.
Somebody sunk everything they had into this. And we were talking about it. Even if they didn't sink everything they had into it, they had to go up to somebody who had money and was like, "Here's my idea."
I lost literally all my money, and I just need a little bit more.
Yeah, this would be
to make my movie.
This is like one of those movies that I could see being made by the mob or something, where like they literally just need to hide their money or something,
right?
Because otherwise, I have no explanation as to who, what, or why anyone would put a dime into making this.
Well, there's 89 in the cocaine.
Which is another point I'd like to bring up. 89. This movie does not feel like it was made in 89. This movie feels like it was made mid-80s, maybe early 80s.
Oh, yeah.
This shit was made a little bit after this was probably even acceptable. Like 89, the lady who was in Goodfellas was literally in Goodfellas like 2 years after she made this. That's what I'm saying. How hysterical is it that fucking...
That's hilarious that you recognize her.
Dude, I kept saying, like, what the fuck, dude? She looks so familiar, and I do not know why. But the idea...
Your Dago senses were tingling.
Yeah. my spider wop senses. But
7 degrees of Kevin Bacon going.
Dude, all I know is that for some reason Martin Scorsese saw this movie. Otherwise, why did he cast this lady? She's never been in anything else. Well, anyway, I think we all learned a little something tonight about ourselves.
Always wear a rubber.
Yeah, that's definitely the takeaway. If you have a frat boyfriend who had, that was another thing I didn't bring up. Swear to God, his hair kept growing in every scene.
Yeah. So like, how long did this movie run?
I don't know how long this movie took to film, but he looked like his hair grew at least 4 or 5 inches from the start to the end.
2 to 3 months.
But yeah, take the lessons as you will. And
you gonna rate it?
I rate this in a bad movie.
Should we do like a 1 out of 5 thing? Okay,
so in a 1 out of 5, 1 being a bad movie that just sucks, and 5 being a bad movie
that's actually
good.
Great.
I give it a 3.
I think I'm gonna go with a 3.5 because I will give it a little bit of credit that it is absolutely insane. The premise is insane. Good special effects on the monster.
Yes,
that's what made me give it a 3.
A good bad movie should have some funniness to it. And while there was funny stuff in this, you felt dirty laughing at any of it because it was not supposed to be funny. I think this movie was supposed to be a horror movie, and boy, did it miss the mark.
Oh, it sure did.
Absolutely. But I give it a 3.5. You give it a 3.
I give it I almost want to give it a 4.
Okay. Well, that's where I went 3.5.
But I think I'm just gonna say 3 because 4 was a bit generous because I love the premise of the movie. I love the monster. If only it were executed a little bit better as far as like putting in time to do better writing or goddamn dialogue.
Yeah.
Because
there was a lot that could have happened with Axel that would have been great.
Yeah.
It just did not.
Axel was kind of a wasted character. Like, we could have gone so much further with him.
Axel was your classic 80s bad guy.
Yeah, but I feel like he could have gotten like a redemption arc. Like,
totally.
Instead of...
Or like he saves Big Mama at the end.
Yeah, like he martyrs himself for Big Mama.
Nah, it's too big of a prick for that.
In the end, nobody really came out on top in this.
Yeah.
Everyone really... Because you got to think that
he went on to be the Prime Minister of Canada.
He did, but you've got to also think that even in the end, Mom, who had the abortion, she was like lobotomized and then essayed and died.
Yeah.
So there is no happy ending.
No, it's a horrible ending.
Well, like I said, I think we all learned something tonight. It's a lot of fun. Strong and Uninformed Opinions movie night. I think that might be what we call this.
Absolutely.
Sure.
We had a lot of fun. I hope you guys check out the movie. Follow us on Instagram. Like, share, subscribe. All the things that other people tell you to do on Instagram.
Should you let people vote for the next one?
Do that for us. Well, we might do another one of these bad movie things. So the way we chose this one is we each chose a movie and then we rolled dice to see who would win. And Joe was the winner.
Tommy rolled 3, you rolled...
I rolled 3, he rolled 4,
and I got 5.
So Joe won. That's how we chose this movie. We probably will keep doing that because we have a very large selection of bad movies. So we got plenty of shit to watch.
If
you do have a suggestion, though, we are willing to listen. However, don't give me some lame-ass shit like Killer Clowns from Outer Space. We know that's a bad movie. That's awesome.
Been there, done.
Don't give us movies that are obvious 5.
Yeah, those are 5s. We need to dig deeper and find some stuff, okay? And, let us know in the comments below. That being said, it's been fun. See you guys next time.
Have a good one.
Later.